Welcome to Total Football by Sportsmeta. I have with me a very special guest today. He is not only a professional football player, but also a very good friend of mine who has played the highest level of football in Mumbai. And none other than Dhruvit Mehta. Dhruvit, thank you for joining the show.
Thank you for having me, Yash.
Dhruvit, you've seen the games yesterday. A couple of stalemates and Portugal being outplayed by Germany. Two own goals, already 7 or 8 own goals in this tournament. What do you have to say about these three games and what did you feel about each of them?
Exceptionally good games, I must say. I wasn't expecting a lot of action, to be honest, in those games, but
Yeah,
these games were just too good for them.
Cristiano Ronaldo scoring yet another goal. He's already scored 3 in this tournament, and I think 5 more goals or 4 more goals, and he'll be the leading goal scorer in international football. So what are your thoughts on that record and how big of a player he is and what he's achieved in his illustrious career? Do you think there is anyone else who will come even merely close to him?
To be very honest, I don't think so. He's just proving out that age is just a number. He's
Yeah,
just best. To be honest, he's one of my favorite players. So I'm not shocked to see him score, but he every time just he leaves you in a bit of awe. He's just amazing. He's just magical for me.
definitely. And you saw the third game as well. Like I spoke of stalemates, Spain versus Poland. There was nothing to choose between the teams as the score suggested. But the game was fairly dominated by the Spanish team. Like 70 to 30% possession was the difference between the two teams. So do you think it's going to be very difficult for Spain when they play some A-class sides like Portugal, France, Germany? Teams like such teams would give them healthy competition, and Spain will be lacking because they can't pull and get points against the smaller teams.
Agreed. So basically, what I felt was Poland being an underdog in that group. You should have expected Spain to just have a cakewalk over that fixture of theirs, but it was quite shocking to see the game not going into Spain's favor, because you don't expect a team like Spain to just have such a result with a
Yeah,
team like Poland, who's not been playing a lot of football throughout the year, competitive football throughout the year, I'd say.
exactly. And given the fact that Spain has such a rich history, that brings to light the fact that they have to be the dominating side out of the two, and the result didn't show otherwise. So that
Agreed.
was it from
This
yesterday's game.
this
Yeah,
was I'd say I'd put it in a very layman's term that this was more like the FIFA game you play against that weak friend of yours, but you still don't manage to win. So I think this was that game for me.
exactly. That was what it was. And moving on to the first game, it's Italy versus Wales.
Big game, big picture.
So Dhruvit, not wasting any time, tell me what do you have to say about the Italians and the domination that they've been showing since the last 30 odd games. They've not lost, and in the last 5 games they've had a clean record of 5 wins out of 5. What are your thoughts on them and how they've grown as a team?
So I just put it out in a very clear terms that Italy is one of my favorites to win this Euros. They come
Wow.
out with a formation of 4-4-2 on paper, but they transform it into 3-5-2 when they have the possession of it. So they have the perfect balance, I'd say, of the teens and the experience. And
Yeah,
the unique thing about them is every player that they have in the team plays a very natural position which they also play for their clubs. Let's for assumption say Immobile, he plays as a striker for Lazio, he plays as a striker for them as well. So it's very natural for them to gel into the national team as well, and I think this is paying off for them.
exactly. And the good point you made there is that players are playing in the preferred position, obviously playing the
Agreed.
clubs as well. Something what England has not been replicating, and we've clearly seen
Yes.
a Trippier player right back and Kyle Walker playing a centre back in the World Cup. So yeah, I get what you're trying to say. And speaking of Italy, they have not qualified. They had not qualified for the World Cup, and a lot of slack was thrown, and they were literally written off by most of the people and experts like us who talk about football and stuff like that. But what do you have to say about them proving everyone wrong and the fact that they've overcome all these obstacles and now they are in contention of, like you said, they could easily win this Euro as well?
Agreed. So I'd just say, Yash, that the way they have come out of the fact that they have not qualified for the World Cup, it was just as good as now they have come up with 5 games winning streak. So that's just
Yeah.
exceptional in terms of how they have come back on the game.
So, Dhruvid, speaking of Wales as well, we've got Aaron Ramsey, who can't do anything wrong right now because he scored a fantastic goal and he is one of the players to watch out for when it comes to Wales. What are your thoughts on him and the fact that he left Arsenal, now he's with Juventus and he's playing with the best players in the world? And does that, do they hit it off each other, the best players in the world like Cristiano Ronaldo, rubbing shoulders with him? It brings a lot of confidence to you and it changes your mentality as well.
Agreed. So Aaron Ramsey being, I think it's a very good move that he moved on from to Juventus. So right now, so his move to Juventus was just good for his career as well, because he'll be playing with one of the best, Cristiano Ronaldo. So I think it's a very good move for him. There's nothing better he could have done, and I think he's just the man to watch out for.
Man to watch out for sure for Wales. But there's another interesting battle out there, Dhruvid. It is Chiellini versus Gareth Bale. Now that is something that we all will be looking forward to, because Bale has really won everything, and being one of the best players coming from Wales in the history of Welsh football. And the Italian stalwart Chiellini, who is literally like a rock out there. They've kept so many clean sheets, 2 clean sheets in this Euro itself. So who do you think is going to come out victorious in this particular contest?
Oh, this is gonna be a tough one. I must tell you, because with Bale's pace and Italy's intention to attack when they have the possession of the ball, so Italy's style of play is when they have the possession of the ball, they quickly transform into a 3-5-1, which gives Chiellini a robust move between the first line of their defense. So I see them doing that in this match as well, but. To be very honest, once they lose the ball in their half, in Wales half, and if the ball goes back to Bale, I see him making those magic runs from the left, the counter ones. So it's gonna be a good match to watch, and it's a good challenge to watch as well. Chiellini and Bale.
Pace that Bale has with the support of Dan James.
It's pace versus experience.
Exactly, and like I said, Dan James is another quick guy. Aaron Ramsey is out there, and then there's this striker Moore, who is a very good player. He's a tall guy who gets those headers in. So they've got a good attacking, trio of sorts. They've set their team right. So I would like to ask you, Dhruvid, what is your prediction for today, for this first game?
It's. I think it's gonna be Italy for sure. As I said, they're my favorite to win the Euros, so I go with Italy.
What's the score gonna be in this prediction of yours?
I want to be fair to Wales as well, because they have a beautiful attack. So I'd say 2-1, 2-1 to Italy.
Fair enough. 2-1 to Italy. Most people would differ because Italy are known to keep clean sheets. As you can see here, they've played
clean sheets. I know.
They played 4 times and Italy has won, 3 out of 4, and 1 win for Wales out there. But stats don't speak the reality what's going on at the moment, and at the moment Italy are on a different high. They've got some supreme confidence, clean sheets under their belt. So 2-1 it is from our expert. And quickly moving on to the second game, it's Turkey versus Switzerland, Dhruvid.
Turkey versus Switzerland, yes, another good game in Group A. I think a very, I won't say a very large game to look out for, but both the points for this game, both the teams will be fighting for points, and they both need this point very much. Yeah, so that's going to be a very good game in between these two.
Both teams are down and out at the moment at 1 and 0 points respectively. But if you look at their head-to-head stats, they played like 15 odd games, and Turkey having 8 wins out of those 15. So they have had the upper hand when it comes to this particular fixture. And Turkey, when they came into this tournament, Dhruvid, they were referred to as the dark horses, but they've really proved everyone wrong there by losing both the games comprehensively. So what are your thoughts on this Turkey side failing to live up to the expectations, and just the fact that there seems to be something off in this playing 11 of theirs?
Speaking of Turkey, I must say they have done very well in the past as well.
Yeah.
To be honest, I won't be surprised if they come out with a win today. They have done well in the past, and with Ilmaz being, I don't know, maybe a peak of his form,
Yeah.
he's just being great. Like he's just great for them. He's just doing his duty, and I think he can pull off this one for Turkey.
He sure can, but don't you think he has been playing too defensive, or maybe the Turkish approach of the whole Euros has been something, I would say it's very defensive. They've had a defensive mindset, and they're not playing the way they are known to play. They're not making those attacks. It's more of they're just waiting, holding back. Sustaining and trying to take the pressure. And then when you're playing teams like Italy and individual talents like Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey, you are going to be broken through at one point. So do you think Turkey should come up with a different approach today, playing Switzerland, who themselves haven't won a game in this tournament? So do you think they will come out as a different Turkish side, or the Turkish side that we know that is a dominating team and likes to attack rather than take back and defend the game?
Yeah, I very much agree with you. They have not been playing the way they are supposed to. I won't say supposed to, but the way they have depicted themselves as
Yeah.
being Turkey, the side who plays very attacking football. But to be very honest, it makes sense that with the team against Italy, they were playing defensive. So I would obviously predict that they will come out with all guns blazing for this Swiss team. So I think it's going to be a different approach today for the Turkish side, and I feel they will have a good attacking game today.
Speaking of attack, and we have to talk about Shaqiri, because the fact that he's played for the topmost clubs and he's been a fantastic player over the years. What are your thoughts on this guy, and what all he's capable of as a footballer?
A very fantastic footballer, to be very honest. He's just he just proves out each and every time he plays. But to be very honest, I don't think he's getting enough support from the Swiss team. Like the way he plays and the way the team plays, I feel there is some gap between the way they play, the way he wants the ball to be fed, or he wants to feed the ball to someone. I think they need to get through it. Otherwise, the Turkish team is going to punish them very bad.
Exactly. Dhruvid, you yourself play a lot of football. You've played some good level of football in Mumbai. So I just want to ask you, how difficult is it, to be a Shaqiri where you've played for Liverpool, you've been benched most of the season, and you just come in and play 20 odd minutes, play the league cup matches and stuff like that, and straight away you come to the Euros, bang into the international arena, and you have to lead your team to victory because everyone is dependent on you. The whole team looks up to you, being a Shaqiri. So how difficult is it to manage this as a mental block more than a physical one?
I'd say, Yash, that playtime is very much important. The more time you get with the top players, the top teams, the more time
Yeah.
you get against a tougher opponent, it just gives you a confidence, self confidence. I'd say to drive the ball, drive the game in a way you want it to. And suddenly, if you're benched, you're not getting enough time to play on the field 20 minutes or on some normal league game, and suddenly you come out on a big tournament like Euros, it becomes very difficult for a individual to outcast everything and just come out
Exactly.
and shine. So
Exactly.
it's really difficult unless and until you get a good play time. It's really difficult.
And speaking of difficulties here, Dhruvid, if you look at the group table as well, the group A, these teams are on bottom of the table. But do you think Turkey has an outside chance if they win this game big? It's a 5-goal deficit, which seems pretty unlikely at the moment. But do you see a Swiss or a Turk side qualify for in the best of three teams in the round of 16?
With the current standing and goal difference, I will say it's really tough for the Turkish side, they say, to come in, and just give out 5 goals, and yeah. So it's gonna be tough for them, but I wouldn't say impossible because the Turkish attacks and the way they play. So I wouldn't say it's impossible but right now it looks like Swiss is going to take the third spot for them.
One-sided affair for now, and
Yeah.
interesting head-to-head thing also, do it. Soyuncu versus Embolo, because we've seen Embolo. If you see the first two games, in the first game especially, he just ran past the defenders when he played the Welsh side. He was really aggressive and very strong as well, and he was quick as well. And he was the one who scored that goal. So he was a man to watch out for in that game. Now playing here against Soyuncu, who we have seen in the Leicester team and in the Premier League,
Leicester
a lot
team,
of yeah. So could we see a head-to-head battle here, and would it be interesting for us to watch?
Yes, it's a very strong battle, I must say, Yash, because Molu is built very nice. He has his pace, he has his finishing, he has all the skills required. And on the other side, there's Soyuncu, who's got a lot of experience with the Leicester team, because
Yeah.
you know that team is famous for its counter-attacks and its defense as well. So I think this is one of the good competitions you have to watch out for head-to-head on head-to-head basis. It's a good battle. It's going to be a good battle for them.
Okay, so my final question, Rohit, who do you predict to be the winner for this game? And please tell me the scoreline as well, because I know you are somewhere in a dilemma whether to pick Turkey or Switzerland, or most of us are. So you being the expert, you are put on a spot and you have to tell me who is going to be the winner.
I'd say I go with Turkey for this one, and I'd say my scoreline prediction would be 3-0.
3-0 to
I know
Turkey.
it doesn't it doesn't make sense, but I just hope from the bottom of my heart that they go past the goal difference. But I don't think the Swiss will allow them, so I'd go with 3-0 as the final showdown.
Now, if it actually turns out 3-0, there'll be a lot of memes made, putting my face out there, because the way I reacted was completely showing that Turkey is a very bad side, which is not, and I really like Turkish
Agreed.
football. Guys, please forgive me if I reacted otherwise. That's
I'm
really
gonna
good.
repost all of those memes once you do it.
No, bro, no, please don't. Now, finally, Rohit, thank you for joining with me. It was fun to have you here, and you gave us some insights about the tactics and the tactical formation as well, which is something very new, and people don't talk about it on basic talk shows. They just talk about score lines, the players to watch out for. But talking about tactics, it is really important, Rohit. So finally, I would like to ask you, do you think that the transformation of football that has happened throughout these years, has the football become more competitive than when it was played back in the days of the Maradonas, the Peles, and the Cruyffs, and the football has become more competitive and challenging as the years have gone by?
Yes, most definitely, Yash. With the evolution of players, I'm not saying the players were bad back then, but with the evolution of players, what I mean is the pace, the ability to go past defense, the body structure. That's for this just physicality is being more used. The
Yeah.
players know what they want and what the team wants from them, so they develop themselves in that manner. Speaking of pace and all, again, Mbappe, a young talent, runs
Ah.
past anyone like butter. Okay, so that's I think evolution has taken place. And speaking of tactics, as you said, tactics also have played an important role. So when you come out of the dugout having a set plan in mind and you have discussed it on paper, it becomes very
Yeah.
easy for you to put it on the ground and just play it in that manner and just get a win or 3 points for your team. It becomes very simpler. Yeah, just it becomes very simpler for in that case. So yeah, I mean, tactics has played a lot of role in this.
Thank you, Rohit. That was it from our expert today. We surely want you to come more on this show. And thank you so
Sure.
much for joining with me. I'll see you soon. And this was Total Football by Sports Adda. Thank you.
Thank you guys.